Pouncey, his center, that was Ben's guy. He retired. Kevin Colbert, the GM's always been Ben's guy. His comments recently, lukewarm on Big Ben. Mike Tomlin, interestingly quiet. Mike Tomlin now is not talking. And now a former teammate who played with Ben for 11 years, Ike Taylor. They were in 3 Super Bowls. They won a couple of them. Ike Taylor is out on Big Ben. Here it is.
I think 7 should shut it down. And the reason why I think 7 should shut it down, he's done everything he possibly can. You set him back a year or 2 or 3. I think, and the reason why I think you setting him back is because you've seen the progression in Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow before he got hurt, and Baker Mayfield. So we talking about 3 young quarterbacks in one division. Who you gonna pick last? I'm not talking about the accolades. I'm not talking about the Super Bowls. I'm talking about 2020.
Right.
Who are you picking last?
Ike Taylor is not wrong. What does Big Ben do well? Accuracy? No. Pre-snap genius? No. Deep ball? No. Mobility? No. Everybody else in that division, Burrow, Baker, and Lamar, have a specialty. Big Ben was never fully committed. It was fine when he was in his athletic prime. Who is in his corner now? Ain't the GM. It's not the coach. Not a former. Ike Taylor was a real player. Ike Taylor was a good teammate. He was Ben's guy. Center retired. Ike's out. Mike's out. Kevin Colbert's out. So again, I'm a big believer that if you're super talented, I'll put up with your crap. But once you're not as talented, your lack of commitment, and Ben is the anti-Brady. He is the anti-Russell Wilson. He is the anti-Brady. He just did it on talent. That ages poorly when you're not committed during and in off seasons. Joey Taylor with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Ben's 39 next week. He is an old 39.
Well, it's what you said. He's the opposite of Tom Brady. Everybody chooses to handle their career and their bodies differently. We talked about it last week. The level of commitment and discipline it takes to be someone like a LeBron James or a Tom Brady or a Russell Wilson, when you spend that amount of money on your body and you don't eat strawberries or tomatoes because they cause inflammation. Like you eat avocado ice cream. I don't know, maybe avocado ice cream is good, but like that's a sacrifice. I try to not buy snacks for the house. That's my level of commitment.
Yeah, same here. And I fail at it.
Right, yes, I have chips now. It's a lot. So the Panthers made a handful of roster moves last week to clear up an additional $25.7 million in cap space. They now have $40 million in cap space, which is the 6th most in the league.
Interesting.
And this could be part of a plan to go after Deshaun Watson. Carolina reportedly wants to make a run at Deshaun if the Texans make him available. Watson is set to count for $15.94 million against the 2021 cap and then jump to $40.4 million in 2022.
So this makes me think that Houston and Carolina have talked, and Houston said no, and Carolina's like, okay, we're going to have to give up more. Because Teddy Bridgewater stopped following the Panthers on social media this weekend, meaning stuff leaks out. Nobody can keep a secret.
Right.
So this feels like they talked and Houston said no. But it wasn't like no, it was no. And Carolina's trying to clean the shelves out a little bit and give themselves more space.
Houston has all the leverage here. They've got Deshaun. And now Deshaun has the no trade clause, so he can choose where he goes at the end of the day. But there's no value in Houston coming out and saying Deshaun Watson is available. That immediately lowers what they can get for him. If they're like, no, we're not interested, not interested. They're just going to keep throwing jewels at their feet until they budge.
Yeah.
They can keep Deshaun if they want. Obviously, he's under contract. Things will get very ugly. Deshaun could sit out for the year. Like, it could turn into a disaster. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But it does, the story is, when is they're going to make Deshaun available? They're not going to, I don't think they're going to make Deshaun available. I think they're just going to wait until someone comes with the insane riches that they can't turn down, because you're not going to get value back for Deshaun, obviously. There's no equal trade there. Either it's not going to be a Stafford Goff kind of swap, Or otherwise, why would you be moving off of someone like Deshaun Watson? So I think it's just a waiting game.
I'm just rooting for trades at this point. I'm not going to lie. I'm just rooting to come in every day with a trade.
I mean, quarterback trades are unbelievable.
Last week, Carson Wentz got traded a minute before the show. I'm like, okay, I don't have to prep.
Yep.
There's something to talk for 3 hours.
The show up. So Cam Newton had plenty of critics during his season.
I did not like this. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to defend Cam.
Yeah, so we got to discuss this. So he was at a youth football tournament. This video has gone viral. And a kid started giving him a hard time about being a free agent. Here's the video.
You're a free agent, Rick. You're a free agent. You about to be pulled. I'm Rick. You about to be pulled. I'm Rick. You about to be pulled. I'm Rick. You're a free agent. I'm Rick. You're a free agent. I'm Rick. He's a free agent. Where your daddy at? Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Your dad. You're a free agent. You ass. Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop?
I don't like that kid doing that. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. If my son did that and I saw that video and my son got home, we'd have a long talk, like about respecting people.
Cam Newton has won a Heisman. He made it to the NFL, #1 overall pick, made it to a Super Bowl, played in a Super Bowl, and won a league MVP. Let's not get crazy about what Cam Newton's career has been. He has, by every standard measurable, had an extremely successful career in the NFL.
And an endorsement career.
Of course.
Like he's been all...
He's a superstar. But that superstar aside, he actually has reached those milestones. I mean, Phillip Rivers played for how many years? He never went to the Super Bowl. He never played in a Super Bowl. He never won a league MVP. Like, we're talking about somebody who has had an extreme amount of success. If he retired today, he has had an unbelievably successful NFL career. I think that sometimes the conversations about players can trickle down into, like just two kids. Like this is, I do want to say though, this is a kid. Kind of the way the story's been covered. I feel like people it's like a headline, like Cam Newton was heckled. Like this is a child.
But he is a high school
he's a senior in high school. Yes, and this is a good lesson for him about respect. To your point,
you can drive an automobile as a senior in high school, and you're like a year away from being drafted.
It makes me a little uncomfortable. It is still a child.
If your son did this or daughter did this, would you be mad?
I would do things we can't talk about on television.
That's what I'm saying. If my son did that, he would get home and I'd go, you're going to call Cam Newton and apologize to him.
Well, he did issue an apology online. He issued a long apology. He said he let his football competitive side get the best of him.
Who, the kid did or Cam?
No, the kid did. The kid did. I mean, Cam couldn't have handled it better. Like, Cam is volunteering his time to be there and teach the youth of America football. He doesn't need to do that. He's very, as he said, very, very rich. He doesn't have to be there. He's volunteering his time to be there. I thought Cam handled it perfectly. Like, that's how you handle that
Cam
situation.
Generally, I think Cam's a fairly joyful spirit. Like, even in New England this year, he's pretty joyful. I mean, I have my issues with Cam. He's pretty joyful. There's no, anger.
Well, Cam also has kids, so it would be very odd of him not to know how to handle a kid, even if they are being extremely disrespectful. So J.J. Watt has some options in his free agency decision, but he's not going to rush to pick his next team. Someone asked him on Twitter if he was going to sign with another team.
Oh, this is funny.
And he replied, I scroll through DoorDash for an hour before I pick a restaurant, man.
I love that.
You're going to have to give me a second to choose a new team and city.
That's my favorite tweet of the weekend by J.J. Watt.
It's strong. It's true, I mean, I try to limit my options on the ordering apps because that's what happens. You stay there for an hour and then it takes another 45 minutes to get your food.
I can't do DoorDash with my daughter.
She takes too long?
And I'm like,
women, we have a really hard time picking.
I go to Fresh Brothers Pizza, 10 wings, Greek salad.
Colin, why do you every time you do this to me, I order pizza.
Oh, it's so delicious.
Every time. It's like Pavlovian. Every time you say it, I order pizza.
Fresh Brothers Pizza.
Stop it.
They're Mediterranean. No, I mean, I go to the same thing. I go to every time. I just go, boom, wings, pizza, Seacrest.
I try to do my favorites too. So according to Fox Bet, J.J. Watt's odds for his next team, the Browns are the best odds.
I don't buy that at all.
Browns and the Packers.
Who's setting that? Is that Vegas?
Fox Bet.
You're wrong.
Browns, Packers, Steelers, Bills, and then the Ravens.
Who's setting these odds? I don't believe the Cleveland thing at all.
He said he wants a quarterback, supporting personnel, and the money to be right. Now,
they have Olivier Vernon and Myles Garrett.
He may be being patient, but he also might be waiting until the new salary cap is officially set. So teams might be waiting to see how much money they have.